Hey, who are you? I'm your clone. Who are you? My clone. Then who am I? You're not you. Who are you if I'm not me? I'm you, but I'm not me. Are you me or am I you? You're me. Hey, who's he? I'm you too, but I'm not me. Now you know the secret. Now you must die. Which one are you?
Gonna make some stuff with my hands and some foam. Anybody here like thrash? I don't know too many people that are into thrash. What about King Diamond, huh? Abigail, ooh, it's amazing. Anyways, moving on. Here's a big sheet of foam. Here's a stencil I made with some paper I pasted together because I'm too cheap to buy that project paper stuff or whatever it's called. Once you cut your two pieces out, we're gonna work on making a support for this because if you just glue it like that, it's just gonna be flopping around and that's lame. Here's the dowel I'll be using. I'm gonna put it over the foam piece and just tape it on there to hold it in place, then mark the outline of it. To get the other side, I'm just gonna get the other piece and align it to that piece and then just smash it on there.
I don't
Smash me, mate! Smash me! Smash me!
And then just trace whatever line's left behind. And if your line's not straight, don't worry about it, neither is mine, so meh. To make room for the dowel, I'm using my Dremel to kind of go halfway on both pieces. If you don't have a Dremel, you can get a dowel and wrap it in sandpaper. Then you're gonna want to cancel all your plans because that shit's gonna take you all day. For glue, I'm gonna be using contact cement, and don't put glue on the area you left for the dowel. Once it's all dry, you just put the dowel and then you just gently align everything together. This is where you really want to be paying attention because if you mess up, it's gonna be all chweck and then you're gonna have to start all over. Alright folks, check this out. Now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna need this stencil and we're gonna cut it up because we're gonna need those details. See this right here? This is how it's gonna look when you're all done. And these two pieces right here, they're gonna be made out of 5mm foam, baby. And the rest is just gonna be a gym mat. That's my totally little voice. Remember this guy?
How about butt squeeze?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I see you wanted to touch.
That's a good
Not this
one.
show. Not touching this show. Okay.
I guess fucking weird. He's so cool though. Moving on. So yeah, once you trace these stencils onto some foam, you just cut them out. Alright, so I'm just making sure everything fits. This is all the pieces before they've been sanded, so that's why they look so flat. Okay, so in my opinion, I think this is the hardest part of the whole project. Not because it's difficult, it's just that it takes so much time. Because with both sides, you're looking at sanding 16 pieces. And that's gonna take a while. Just try to focus on what you're doing. Don't kind of space out for this. I know it's repetitive, but focus on what you're doing. Because if you mess up, you're gonna have to do it again. So, you know, just try to round everything out, make sure it's not flat. But key thing, focus on what you're doing. Don't be spacing out, thinking about whatever crap you're thinking about, and just focus on your work. Sanding your stuff really makes it look better. So don't get discouraged if it looks like shit at first. Now don't just start gluing everything together, okay? Get a Sharpie and trace where all the pieces are gonna go. Then glue it on there. Now that the glue's dried, I'm gonna sand all the ends just to make it look like one solid piece. You don't have to do this, but it does make it look nicer. And now to make the guard, or whatever this thing is. I mean, it looks like a guard. Unless it's supposed to be like just wings for the eye. It's a guard. Here's the stencils for that. You can use this for this, because it's gonna be the same size. I just didn't want to make another one. And I'm cutting them out of a gym mat. So you have your pieces like this, and then you're gonna glue right here in red, and then you're just gonna put them together, and then bam, you're done. Now do it 7 more times. Here's a visual example. You do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and then that's it. Now, as you can tell here, it looks like it, but it's okay because you can just sand it and take out all those imperfections and make it look nice and soft. Be careful though if you're using a Dremel, make sure to have a good grip or else this is gonna happen. Once they don't look like crap anymore, you can start fitting them. Then mark them and then just glue them. Don't put glue on this area or here. Put glue here and here only. Pinch it like this. That way it's easier to glue on, and then you do one side at a time. To get this braided look on the handle, I made this stencil. I put it at the middle of the handle and then I just trace those lines. Then with an X-Acto knife, I lightly engrave these marks. So there's this gap that's on there, and if it doesn't bug you, cool, don't have to do this, but it bugs me. So I got 2mm foam and I made this shape out of it, and I just put it on there, glued it on there, sand it to make it look like one piece, and that's it. Mark some lines on the bat wing just to make it look cooler. You don't have to do it exactly like this, you can do it however you want, and then just engrave it on there. The detail! What's that? You want to see it again from a slightly different angle? Boom! There you go! So now I'm going to seal everything with the heat gun. All the stuff you engraved is really going to pop out here, which is really cool, but on the downside, so are all your mistakes. Like, if you messed up on a thing and you cut somewhere or whatever, it's just going to pop out like... Hey. Now I'm using Plasti Dip. I haven't talked about that ping pong ball that's on there as the eye. Don't put it on there when you're Plasti Dipping. Just wait till the end. I'll get to that later. Once it's dry, cover this stuff up with painter's tape and you're ready to paint. If you have an airbrush gun, that's what I would use to paint this. I don't though. So I'm just using different spray paints and just kind of winging it when it comes to this. Like with this, I'm trying to keep some of the black, so I'm not going too crazy on the red. Then I'm filling everything with this light blue. For this, I am filling it up completely. And then just going over some of the parts with this darker blue. And if you get it wrong, who cares? Just say it's your interpretation of it. I think that's what people say when we fuck up. Check out my interpretation of Soul Eater. I used acrylic paints to darken up some of the blue and the red, and then for the guard, I was like, fuck that, I'm not taping this up to spray paint it, so I just settled with acrylic paint. Also, this highlighted look on the braid of the handle, I just don't feel like doing that either, so bleh. And now finally, the eye, the thing I've been avoiding this whole time. I just got a ping pong ball and cut it in half. Now the eye color is pretty crazy, so if you had an airbrush, this would be pretty easy. But I don't have that, and chances are you probably don't have one either. So this is what we're gonna do. Get a light blue and then a dark blue and just kind of wing it and spray them all weird. I'm mainly aiming at the bottom, like right around here, so it's just lightly hitting it. Why didn't you get a better angle of this? Overall, I thought it came out pretty good. For the dark spot, I'm just going to use acrylic paint.